Many Magic the Gathering players ask the question, is it worth it to buy a Lorwyn Commander deck? Magic the Gathering kicks off the new year with a triumphant return to Lorwyn, one of the most anticipated sets in years, Lorwyn Eclipsed, which brings with it 2 Commander pre-constructed decks, fully playable right out of the box decks that are meant to allow anyone to pick up a copy and sit down with friends to play Commander, all while offering exciting paths to upgrades, needed reprints, and original card designs to delight new and established players alike. But even at or around MSRP, are these Commander decks offering us less than ever before while costing more and more? Just how good are the included reprints? How much value can you expect to find? Are these still the best way for new players to enter the format? And do they have anything of interest for Commander players with 10 decks of their own? And most importantly, are they even fun to play with? This is a game after all, so how well do these decks play against one another, plus those of your established playgroup? All those questions and more are what's in store, so let's take a look. And let's give these Commander precons away along with 10, count them 10, collector booster boxes of Lorwyn Eclipsed next week on January 23rd at 3 p.m. Pacific. I'm giving away not only these Lorwyn Eclipsed Commander precons, but 10 collector booster boxes, 10 collector booster boxes, 10 collector booster boxes of Lorwyn Eclipsed on Whatnot. Whatnot is just like if Twitch and eBay had a baby. People are able to stream themselves selling items at buy it now prices or even auctioning them off. And I'm able to give you a $15 credit when you create a brand new account on Whatnot using my invite code at www.whatnot.com/invite/Tolarian College. I've got signed playmats, signed cards, signed academic deck boxes, and also just some cool draft packs. And when you create a brand new account and hang out with me, the professor, you get $15 credit towards any of them. And just by hanging out, you've got a chance to win one of these 10 Lorwyn Eclipsed collector booster boxes on Whatnot. And I'm also giving away the Lorwyn Eclipsed Commander precons. It's going to be an extraordinary event. Make sure you tune in next Friday, January 23rd at 3 p.m. Pacific. Create that brand new account, claim your $15 credit, and let's talk Magic the Gathering on Whatnot, sponsor of this video. A Lorwyn Eclipsed Commander deck contains the following. 1 ready-to-play 100-card Commander deck featuring 1 foil face Commander, as well as 1 backup Legendary who is also in foil. The deck also contains 10 additional original card designs. Also included with your Commander precon are 10 double-sided tokens, a strategy insert for piloting the deck, a reference card, a cardboard deck box, some punch-out counters, and nothing else. Wizards of the Coast has removed the collector sample booster pack and replaced it with nothing. Honestly, the strategy insert, the cardboard deck box, the cardboard punch-outs, this is not anything of value to anyone. At this point, when you buy a Commander precon, all you're getting is that. 1 Commander deck. Nothing else. In the past, Commander precons came with life counters, oversized cards, even plane chase cards, and of course, the collector sample booster pack. The removal of these extras did not come with any reduction in cost. In fact, as you're about to see, MSRP has only gone up. Look, I never liked the way those sample packs were advertised. It often looked on the packaging like they were including a free collector booster pack inside of these Commander precons. Experienced players would know the truth, but it still felt misleading, and I don't like it when companies try and mislead players, especially new or casual players or someone's grandma. However, it was still an extra item. It had the potential for a couple cool extra cards, and it was the last vestige of anything else in this product beyond just the deck. In a world of min-maxing, we are now at the min. And just how max has the price gotten? Well, MSRP for Commander Precons from in-universe standard sets has shockingly increased yet again, from $44.99 to now, I kid you not, $49.99 per deck. They want $50 a Commander deck. The original MSRP for Commander Precons was $29.95. True, this was back in 2011, but since then we've seen a nearly doubling of cost. And again, we get so much less now than we did then. One saving grace for Lorwyn Eclipsed is that neither deck has seen dramatic price markups on the secondary market. Dance of the Elements is even going for below MSRP at a secondary market price of $43.69. Blight Curse, on the other hand, is getting marked up for just a couple of bucks. Its market price is about $53.62. I've seen some online sellers offer both in a kind of bundle deal for $85.85. As always, you should first check your local game store before buying online, but that's a pretty good deal as it's actually less than the cost of buying the two decks separately, even at MSRP. This is now the second set of Commander decks that have not seen gross price markups on release, like the Edge of Eternity's Precons just 5 months ago. Compared to the days of old, where Precons were often heavily marked up for having powerful exclusive cards, I couldn't help but wonder if today's trend of stable Precon prices meant card values were getting lower. Reviewing recent Commander decks from Edge of Eternities, Dragons of Tarkir, and Aether Drift, we can see the total included card value is very consistent with an average of $110 worth of cards, with only 2 decks in Dragons of Tarkir being the exception. Before we take a closer look at exactly how much value you're getting with the Lorwyn Eclipsed decks, I have something to add about markups. Specifically, do not pay markups at now $50 per Commander Precon. You can find many, and I do mean many, Commander Precons from prior sets selling at or below $50 a pop at your local game store. If Lorwyn Precons continue to rise, just wait until the next set and you might just find them discounted back down again. If your local game store does not have older Commander decks at a discount, feel free to check out www.cardkingdom.com/TCC, sponsor of this channel, as I've collected many old Precons that sell for less than MSRP there. Even if you don't want to buy online, this can give you a good reference for what to seek out locally. And, of course, I should mention that I've collected many of my favorite products, such as the Academic Deck Box, a deck box I designed alongside Game Genic there as well. So if you do want to peruse the cards and selection at Card Kingdom via my affiliate link, I thank you. Do not pay markups, but at MSRP, what exactly do these Commander decks contain in the way of financial value? Are they worth the increased price, or have they priced themselves out of the market? Let's take a look at worth. Financial value. If you were to buy the cheapest printings of the singles in each deck individually, as of the filming of this video, you would have to pay $95.26 for Dance of the Elements and $92.66 for Blight Curse. For comparison, at the time of my recording the Edge of Eternity's Precon review, World Shaper, the Jund Lands Precon, had a total singles value of $108.10, while the Jeskai Counters deck, Counterintelligence, had a value of $125.74. In other words, there is absolutely a drop-off in value happening here. If you were to only buy the singles worth $1 or more from Dance of the Elements, you would still have to pay $75.97. For Blight Curse, it would cost you $70.61. Compare that to the $83.11 for the non-bulk in World Shaper and the $96.81 for non-bulk in Counterintelligence. Looking at those numbers, there's no doubt about it. These Precons contain less value than their predecessors. Let's take a closer look at the singles of value for each Lorwyn Precon. 27 out of the 100 cards in Dance of the Elements are worth more than $1. This is consistent with the recent Edge of Eternity's Commander decks, World Shaper and Counterintelligence, which had 26 and 28 non-bulk cards respectively. Most of the value of Dance of the Elements is contained within the new cards: Abundant Countryside, a powerful new take on Ancient Ziggurat, which is $13, while Lamentation and Springleaf Parade are about $8 each. And the most expensive reprints in the deck are Cream of the Crop, a $5 card, and Timeless Lotus, which costs $4 and change. By comparison, World Shaper had 3 reprints worth more than Cream of the Crop. Counterintelligence, on the other hand, had 2 reprints worth twice as much as Cream of the Crop. Looking closely at these reprints, we can see that even though we are getting the same amount of non-bulk cards in Dance of the Elements, you're still getting less in value because they're cheaper non-bulk cards. Nonetheless, I'm happy to see many of these reprints here. Fury and Endurance, for instance, are incredibly welcome inclusions as they are all-stars from Modern Horizons 2 that have never been reprinted in a precon before. It's still incredible to see these cards reprinted here, even if they are not extremely high value right now. Blight Curse, in contrast, has 30 out of 100 cards worth more than $1. And that's actually more non-bulk cards than any of the precons we've mentioned in this video. Despite all this, Blight Curse actually has even less value than Dance of the Elements. What gives? 3 of the 4 most expensive cards in Blight Curse are reprints. Chimmel, the Inner Sun, at $8.69, Necroskitter at $7.18, and Tree of Perdition at $5 even. The most expensive new card in this deck? It's the Reaper, King No More, which costs just $5.68. There is not a single card in Blight Curse that crosses the $10 threshold, and there's only 4 cards which cross the $5 threshold. Not only did both Edge of Eternity's precons contain a $10 card, but Counterintelligence even had 2. Now, don't get me wrong, the reprints we got are solid cards. I love seeing Chimmel, the Inner Sun, in particular, recently printed in Lost Caverns of Ixalan just 2 years ago. But including a single $10 reprint in each of these commander decks would have single-handedly brought their value up to standards set by previous precons. There is a clear and obvious decline in singles value for both of these precons from their predecessors, and that comes alongside Wizards of the Coast raising the MSRP all the way up to $50 a pop. So the value of the singles within has gone down by $10 to $20 while MSRP goes up by $5? Seriously, Wizards? I really hope this drop-off in singles value is an aberration rather than the start of a new trend. In terms of mana bases, I was really happy to see that the Lorwyn Eclipsed precons continued the gradual process of completing the enemy color pair Tango and Bicycle lands that began with Edge of Eternities. These lands are a big deal for budget commander decks, as they are a huge upgrade to the prior options for low-cost basic land type duels in their color pairs. The newest additions to these cycles are both Simic, Rain-Slicked Copse, and Sodden Verdure. They only appear in Dance of the Elements, though the Jund Blight deck does feature reprints of the Golgari lands first found in the Jund lands precon from Edge of Eternities. However, financial value is not the only way to determine worth, and as I say in every one of these videos, these products are meant to be played with. They're not stock market investments, though it is fair to say that they should have cards with a reasonable value in relation to their price tag. But all that aside, at the end of the day, what matters most is that you can buy a precon, sleeve it up, play with it, and have a great time. So, do these precons accomplish that most important goal? Dance of the Elements is a 5-color elemental kindred deck that seeks to abuse the enter the battlefield effects of your powerful elementals with the help of your commander, Ashling the Limitless. Ashling creates token copies of elementals that you evoke, which not only doubles the elemental's ETB effect, but also gives you the chance to attack with the token. There are tons of powerful cards at the top end of this deck's curve, from big encore elementals like Jubilation and Lamentation, to massive finishers like Titan of Industry and Omnath, Locus of Rage. The overall card quality is fantastic in this deck. Every card feels right at home, and you won't draw something that feels off from the deck's theme. Being a 5-color deck, there's always going to be an issue of meeting strict color requirements across all 5 colors with a budget precon mana base. Now, I must admit this deck does have a bit of a tapped land issue. 14 of the 40 lands in the deck always enter tapped, and a few enter untapped only if you meet certain requirements. But thanks to the 5 untapped rainbow lands, your mana base will cast your spells even if they're spread across all 5 colors. There are also multiple non-land mana fixers, including Flame Braider and Smoke Braider, that each tap for 2 mana. These go a long way toward making this deck function. I am concerned, however, with how top-heavy this deck is. Half of the non-land cards in the deck cost 5 mana or more. This means the deck can have some clunky draws if you don't have enough ramp in your opening hand. That said, even though there are a lot of expensive spells, many of them also have cheap evoke costs. Also, Ashling gives elementals evoke for 4 colorless, making all of them easier to cast. Thanks to the consistent evoke theme in this deck, you shouldn't be too concerned with the high mana values of your spells. Overall, I'm very impressed with the construction of the deck. This is an incredibly strong precon right out of the box, one that I think most other precons will struggle to keep up with. It's also a precon with tons of upgrade potential, as you can replace some of the more expensive ramp spells with cheaper ones to get your engines going faster. Blight Curse is a Jund -1/-1 counters precon headlined by Anti-Ool Curse Wretch. The deck wants to pile -1/-1 counters on as many creatures on the board as you can. The deck comes with many ways to do this, most prominently through cards that have Wither and the new Blight mechanic from Lorwyn Eclipsed. But there are also many cards over the past 2 decades that add -1/-1 counters to creatures without the use of a key word, including some brand new ones printed specifically for this deck. Once you get going, your opponents will really struggle to keep creatures in play, and it's even more true thanks to the many removal spells this deck also contains, both spot removal and board wipes. This is actually something I don't like about this deck list. Your game plan already floods the board with -1/-1 counters, so why do you also need all the removal on top of that? I would have rather seen Infernal Grasp, Terminate, and Putrefy turned into something more useful, like, say, a Yawgmoth, Thran Physician. This would have also solved the singles value problem we discussed a moment ago. For all my criticism of the density of spot removal in Blight Curse, I do still believe this deck is really powerful, and it certainly was a lot of fun to play during testing. It's highly synergistic, unrelenting, and most importantly, it feels fresh. We haven't seen a precon quite like this before. I'm very impressed with the construction of this deck. If I have a broad criticism about the gameplay experience of both of these decks, it's that I don't feel they're particularly new player friendly. Now, granted, I feel that way about most precons these days, but these 2 precons from Lorwyn Eclipsed feel particularly unsuited to new players. The number of triggers to keep track of with Dance of the Elements is far too many for someone who is still learning what triggers even are, especially since many of the triggers in the deck are what's known as delayed triggers. And Blight Curse has different problems as well. Knowing which creatures to put -1/-1 counters on, especially which of your own creatures to do this with, is firmly an intermediate to advanced level skill. I do not feel that Blight Curse is a deck anyone who is not already familiar with intermediate strategy should pick up. For those intermediate and above Commander players, people already established in the format, I feel strongly that either of these Commander precons is going to be an enjoyable experience. They're excellent card designs, they're excellent Commander decks, but they aren't exactly what I would point a new Commander player or a new Magic the Gathering player towards. And that's a shame because the Commander precon really is supposed to be an entry-level product. Final conclusion, both Lorwyn Eclipsed Commander decks have excellent design, are fun to play with, and certainly powerful enough for a precon. However, the value contained within is less than prior years. In addition to that decreased value, there's an increase of cost, as these are the most expensive in-universe precons ever. While I do still think these Commander decks are worth it to new and returning players alike, they are also highly symptomatic of a company that is min-maxing one of their best products. Grade B+. I hope very much this video has been of some help to you. Remember, I'm giving away 10 collector booster boxes of Lorwyn Eclipsed on my next Whatnot stream on Friday, January 3rd at 3 p.m. Pacific, as well as both of the Lorwyn Eclipsed Commander precons. It's the major Lorwyn Eclipsed giveaway. 10 collector booster boxes from me to you, and a $15 credit to spend on anything on Whatnot, from magic packs to magic accessories, when you create a new account using my invite code at www.whatnot.com/invite/Tolarian College. Get your $15 credit. Come hang out with me. Let's talk magic off the script, and let's give away 10 collector booster boxes of Lorwyn Eclipse, plus these Commander precons, courtesy of Whatnot, sponsor of this video.
Next time on Shuffle Up and Play.
What's up? It's Shuffle Up and Play with fans. We are playing with fan decks. Also, we're playing with a very special guest.
I'm Mark Rosewater. I'm the head designer for Magic the Gathering.
30 years, and you have not killed it yet?
I keep trying every year.
I know you do.
This goal of destroying Magic, Mark, you're not delivering, so.
And the angel's gonna hit.
Down to 6.
Down to 6.
Hey! Blood for the Blood God.
Uh-oh. So the cynical loner is coming at Mark.
I will take 3 cynicism.
So we're doing a fair, logical attack here. Would you agree, Mr. Rosewater? This is logic. This is gameplay.
It's actually politics.
How is that